can your job actually be something that's blocking your blessings? You know, a lot of times we do things for the sake of a dollar, and we're all just trying to survive. We're all caught up in the rat race, and we do what we need to do in order to maintain our lifestyle, take care of our family, while paying our bills. But is that job something that's actually a hindrance more so than it is a blessing? Well, let's talk about it. You see, if you're doing something that is compromising to your integrity, if you're doing something that doesn't sit right with you at the end of the day, then it may very be the one thing that's blocking you from growing and advancing a lot further in life. You see, now we all understand that everybody's just trying to survive. Everybody out here today is just doing what they can to survive. But at what cost? At what cost are you willing to compromise who you are for the sake of a dollar? Now, I remember, there was a short time where I worked at a car dealership. And, you had to go through the 90-day trial. So I was there for, I would say, the first month. And after being there for a month, we would always have these meetings. Anyone that's ever worked in the car dealership or know about working or works in the car dealership right now, you understand that you have these meetings every morning. Every morning you have these pet rallies and you have these talks that you have to attend where they talk about what happened, the day before, how many sales you got up until now, and what you need to do to get more sales. And I understand all that point because it's all about production and it's all about making sales. However, the things that I saw there really, really disturbed me. It was something that I couldn't go home and be happy about and felt like I accomplished something. We have this thing where you have to make 40 phone calls and send out 40 emails, and at least set 2 appointments. Now, this is something you have to do every day before you leave. Okay, this is a part of your day. You have to call people, you have to email people, and you have to set 2 appointments, for the following day. So I'm on the phone and they give you this list to call from. And these are previous buyers. So it may be a person who have a car that's 2 years old. The car is only 2 years old. It's like, and you have to call them and convince them that it's in their best interest to upgrade. So while I'm speaking on the phone with these customers, a lot of them are elderly. And this person is telling me that her husband died or his wife died and they're on a fixed income and, they don't see why they should trade their car in. And it's my job to convince them. I have to convince them that it's in their best interest to trade in the vehicle. And this person is telling me all these things and I'm listening. And I just want to say to them, ma'am, don't trade your car in. Don't trade it. Your car is only 2 years old. There's no reason for you to trade it in. Now, mind you, all these phone calls are being recorded. So they're listening in. And they're expecting me to coerce these people into buying a car. Now, that's one thing that didn't sit right with me. Now, the next thing that didn't sit right is when we do sell a car, or when we like on a Saturday, you got a lot of people visiting the dealership and they are getting them on interest rates and, people are qualifying for a lower interest rate, but it's our job as salesmen to get them up to a higher interest rate, and that didn't sit right with me. It was really, really, really bothering my spirit, the tactics that they were using in the car dealership. And it was something that I couldn't feel good about because I come from a place where I was taught to make a win-win situation. You need a car, I need to sell one. Win-win. We make a profit, you get the vehicle of your desire or the vehicle that you desire, and everybody's happy. But that's not how it went. They would gloat about in the meetings how they got them on the front end and they got them on the back end, you know. And I'm just sitting there listening to everybody applaud. It's like, how do you applaud the way you swindled and how scandalous you were in the transaction? And this was encouraged. They literally high five one another at the end of the day. And I'm going, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do anything that's going to compromise my integrity. That's going to, make me question my character. Now, again, I get it. We all have to make money and we all get out here and we all do the things that we need to do to survive. But at what cost? You see, my spirit is very, very important to me. It's important to me that I am a truthful and I am a person of high integrity. That's important to me. And to come home at the end of the day and have these things on my mind of the people that I just clearly took advantage of, it wasn't something I can do. So I immediately walked away from that. Because how can I tell my children and put into them how to be of good character if the things that I'm doing on a daily basis is in complete contradictory of that? So a lot of times people are out here, you're an attorney, you're a lawyer, you're a prosecutor, defense attorney, you're a CEO at a prison. A lot of these jobs that we do, knowing that it's not right, knowing that it goes against everything that we stand for. Do you understand that there is a price to pay? You see, the universe does not care about your bills. It doesn't care about your house. It doesn't care about your car. It doesn't care about these things. All it cares about is frequency and vibration. What is the frequency that you're putting out? What's the vibration that you're holding? And this is what your life is being based upon, not how much your paycheck is. You see, our paycheck is a part of the rat race. We have to go out here and earn money to play the game called life. And we all do it. But there is another part that we have to give an account to. There's another part of this that people don't consider because it's something that's unseen. It's something that we don't pay much attention to until our hair begins to fall out, until your stress levels are through the roof, until everything at home is falling apart. How can you go to a job for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years doing things that's immoral, doing things that's scandalous, doing things that is underhanded and things that are not right, and think that you're going to be happy at home? You don't think that there's a spillover? You don't think that these things are going to come back to affect what's going on in your marriage? Really? Really? You don't think that this is going to affect what's going on with your family? So you have a job where you go and you lie all day long and you're sneaky and you're underhanded all day long, but think that you can come home and turn that off. You think that you can come home and shut that off. Well, if you're an unconscious person, there's no way in the world you can do that. But if you're conscious of it, maybe you have a regimen that you go through where you detox, a regimen that you go through where you meditate before, interacting with your family. There's something that you have to have and something that you have to be able to do to combat this situation. Now, sure, you do what you have to do to earn a living. But if it's compromising your integrity, if it's going against your values, if you have to sit there and listen at the water cooler of people talk about how they manipulate, and they think it's a joke and they laugh about it, if that bothers you, then you need to start looking for another job. You cannot gain the whole world and then lose your soul. That can't be something that you're willing to compromise on. You see, business should be win-win. I believe that. I believe that business could be a win-win situation. Hey, I'm selling the house. You need to buy one. I want to make a profit. You want to be happy in the home that you're in. Everybody's happy. Everybody's content. Everybody can go about their day and feel like they contributed. Feel that they got a good deal. What's wrong with that? Have we become a society of vultures where those things aren't important? Have we become to the point where we can go out and be manipulative and do all these things that's scandalous and things that compromise our morals just for profit? Understand, if you see me endorse anything on this channel, you can best believe I believe in it. You can believe that I'm not going to do it for the sake of a dollar. Because all money ain't good money. All money is not good money. And you have to know where to draw the line. I'm at the stage in my life where if it doesn't feel good, I don't do it. I don't mean challenging. I don't mean if it's, pushing me. No, that's fine. But man, I am so awesome when I am in my element and when I am providing a service that helps people. That's when I'm at my best. That's when I'm at my best. When I am doing something and I know I'm providing the value. When I know that I can go home at the end of the day and feel confident and proud of myself. That I just helped the family. That I just helped an individual. You see, when you work in these fields that challenges your integrity, you have to find a way to separate yourself from the pack. You have to find a way to be able to be effective at your job, but to be able to sleep at night. Because there is no way in the world that you can go out every day for 10 and 15 years and be scandalous, backstabbing, underhanded, and think that you're going to have a prosperous marriage, a prosperous family, a prosperous life. It does not work that way. But many of us don't know, we don't pay attention to it, nor do they care. You see, society have set up this game that we have to play. And we all need to understand the rules of the game, and we all play the game. Okay, I get that. I get that. But don't compromise your values. If it's something that is making your hair fall out, if it's something that's stressing you, you have to find a way to be honest in the midst of wolves, because this is how others are getting promoted. You have to watch others get promoted by being the most devious, underhanded, cutthroat salesperson. Okay. But let's look at their marriage. Let's look, are they sick? Is it something going on? Are they happy at home? Oh yeah, they just made Salesman of the Month. But they're going through their third divorce. And they have no clue how to make the connection between the spiritual realm and the realm of being here in reality. You can't cheat this. You have to be you have to be a person that's willing to stand up and say, this isn't for me. I know I have to do this right now, but believe me, I'm looking for a new job every day. This is not something I can do. I can't continue to be a prosecutor trying to get the most, send a person away for the most time, knowing that it was unfair. Knowing that it was unfair. But guess what? You're making six figures. Okay. Is that worth it to you? Many will say yes. But if you are one of the few that can't, sell your soul like that, if you are one of the few that's unwilling to sacrifice your family and life at home, to be on your third marriage, to not be in your kids' lives, to not have healthy relationships, well, then those are the ones that I'm talking to right now. Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. I understand. We all have to do things that we don't like. Doesn't mean we have to continue to do things that we don't like. Make sure you can sleep at night. And this is something else that I've noticed that I think need to be addressed, is that when you have women who work in male-dominated fields, when you have women who are a CEO at prisons, at a men's prison, or when you have police officers or judges even, when you work in male-dominated fields as a woman, and this is specifically for, I guess you can be married, but single women. Do you understand that your hormones and the testosterone levels within you are rising? You are becoming more and more masculine and less feminine. Now, these jobs that you do when you're a police officer, for instance, and you're a woman and you're chasing down men and you're slamming them against the car and you're cuffing them and doing all these things and you're, impressing your peers around you. Do you realize what that's doing to your testosterone levels? When you have to go out and you a woman and I have a friend of mine who worked in a prison as a CO, where she command and order men around all day long. She has to show her dominance. She can't show weakness. She has to be just as tough as they are. And she has to be in their face and command their respect. And okay, that's great for your job. I understand you're getting a paycheck. Do you know what that's doing to you? Do you have any idea when you are in a position of dominance over men as a woman? Do you think that's something that you don't have to pay attention to? Do you think that's something that you don't have to be mindful of? Now, let's take it if you're a single woman. You're a single woman, you're in a male-dominated field. You put on a bulletproof vest every day, a big belt, a gun on your hip. But then when you come home, you take that off, you jump in the shower, you throw on a big T-shirt, and you go to bed. Why? Because there's no one to impress, right? There's no reason for a negligee. There's no reason to be feminine. No one's around. There's no one there. You grab something to eat real quick. You hop into bed. Do you realize what's taking place within you after so many years? Do you understand that In order for you to do those kind of jobs, and understand that women are great at that. Women are great at their job. Women can do anything anybody else can do. Okay, we get all that. We get all that. But there's a spiritual side. There's a balance within nature that must be considered. You can't simply negate that aspect of you. There is a detoxification that you have to go through. This is why I love when I see women that are, that get pedicures and manicures, and women that take bubble baths. And do you know how many women that I know that tell me that they don't even take baths? They think it's nasty to take a bath. Wow. Since when? Where is the feminine side? How do you balance that? How do you balance yourself? Huh? What do you do to bring balance after coming home from a long day of dealing with inmates? Do you realize what's happening to you? Do you realize that hair start growing in places that hair wasn't growing before? Do you realize that your back begins to get broader? Your shoulders begin to get broader? Do you realize that? Now, I didn't want to have to say this, and maybe I might cut it out the video, but do you realize that your clitoris begins to expand? Do you see what's going on down there? Why do you think that is? Because the body is secreting more testosterone than it is estrogen. Why do you think you're so wound up? Why do you think you're so bossy? Why do you think you're so rigid coming as women? You see, I understand you're just trying to make a living, doing what you have to do. You didn't ask to be in this position, but you got to think about it. When you are out here and you are a prosecutor, and you out here and you are a police officer, a CEO, I mean, when you're doing these male-dominated jobs, do you think that there's a price to pay? Do you think that you are in balance, that are in a state of balance within the universe? Do you think that you are in a state of balance within nature? See, the world will make you think that, hey, you can do this and you can do that. Yes, you can. But you have to have some type of regimen. You have to have something you do to balance that. You have to have something that you do to keep the estrogen levels, to remain balanced, to keep your femininity. For the ones who wants to remain feminine. Some don't want to, and that's fine. But I'm talking to the ones that want to be feminine. You think you're so demanding at home because you're head of household now, and you are a single mother. You're raising sons, doing the best job that you can do. I get that. And many times you did not ask to be in that position. I get that. There's no blame here. But it's something that you have to take into consideration. How do you balance yourself? You see, most people just trying to get from one day to the next. They ain't got time to think about this kind of stuff, Shaheed. Ain't nobody got time to think about that kind of stuff. Well, you better find time. You better find time. I'm telling you, this is real. This is real. You cannot go out here and do these type of positions. Construction worker, CO, and police, a woman police officer. You can't do these type of things and not have a plan. Not have a plan on how to balance it. You see, this is what I was talking about. How does it affect your marriage? You're not thinking about that. All you're thinking about is I'm making money. I'm making money. I'm providing. I'm doing what I need to do. I get that. I definitely get that. But at what point do you worry about your spirit? At what point do you worry about your health? At what point do you concern yourself with that? Is the job worth it? Is that position worth it? Now, I'm not saying that you can't be a police officer. What I am saying is that you had better have a way of bringing balance to it. You know, a lot of times, ladies, you have to put on your sexiest outfit just to go to sleep by yourself. Sounds crazy, huh? Sounds crazy? Is it really? You have to put on a negligee. You have to you have to light your incense, light your candles. Take your bubble baths. Go get that manicure. Go get that pedicure. Go do those things. Because you have to find a way to balance out your everyday 9 to 5. You have to balance out what you have to do to earn a living. So by no means am I saying don't go out and do these things and don't go out and do the things you love to do. Just remember that there is something taking place within you that you cannot see with the physical eyes. You can see the effects of it. I mean, some of these, oh my God, some of these women, you know I'm telling the truth. You know a lot of them, hell, you look like linebackers. Hell, we got a whole football league of women now. I think it's like arena football. Now, if you don't care about none of this, that's fine. If none of this interests you, I get it. But I at least want you to be aware. Because a lot of times when we're trying to maintain everything and keep everything in order, hell, it's hard enough to remember every code. It's hard enough to remember all the numbers that we have to remember every day. What we're going to eat for dinner, what we got to do when we get off. I get it. All these things you have to remember. Don't forget about you. Don't forget about your balance. Don't forget about that. You see, I'm here to help people heal. And this is one of the areas where you need to pay more attention to. This is one of the areas that you need to pay more attention to. We like to say, well, that's our job. You know, we look at that as just something we do. I get it. But is your job the very thing that's blocking your happiness? Your true happiness? Is it the thing that's blocking your blessings? So keep that in mind. Remember that there are certain things that you have to do to keep that balance within your life. When doing something that, I don't know if you knew, could literally be blocking your blessings, can literally be affecting your health. And no one thinks about that. They think, oh, this is just something I do. No, I get it. But that very thing that you're doing could be the very reason why you're having health problems. Could be the very reason why you feel like you're going crazy at times. It could be the very reason why you feel depressed. Because you're operating in a way that you weren't designed to operate. I mean, if I take my phone and put it underneath a table leg to balance the table leg out, sure, it'll hold it for a little while. It'll hold it for a little while. But eventually it's going to give way. Eventually it's going to crack under the pressure. Why? Because I'm using it in a way that it was not designed. You can put a brick in your blender. Oh, it'll try to crush it. It'll try to crush it. But eventually it's going to get damaged. Eventually it's going to burn out. Eventually it's going to dull the blades. Why? Because it was not designed to be used that way. It was not designed to operate that way. And the same is true for you. The same is true for you. When you're doing things that you were not designed to do, when you're taking on things that you weren't designed to take on, okay, you can do it. I'm not questioning your skills. I'm not questioning your ability. Sure, we are very resilient people. We are very resilient people. We can adapt to all kinds of things. Okay. But you're changing the structural DNA of who you are. So keep that in mind